Just a reminder to turn your cell phones to vibrate off or mute, and we'll start with an opening statement from Coach, and then we'll take questions.
So like always, I appreciate you guys coming out to cover Penn State football. I mean that. I don't just say that every single week. I mean that. I'd like to thank the fans that came out and supported us tonight as well. That's cool, and we appreciate it. We don't take it for granted. I thought that was the best game we played overall in terms of 4 quarters, offense, defense, special teams, complimentary football. We were able to play 68 players in the game, which is great. It's going to be really good from an experience standpoint. Defensively, continue to play dominant third quarter football, 10 plays for 35 yards, but that also has to do with our offense sustaining drives. Tyler Warren continues to just make plays in a ton of different ways. Like I've mentioned before, I think he's part of the conversation and one of the best players in all of college football, let alone the tight end position. Drew's playing really efficient, 17 and 19 for 247 yards, 3 touchdowns. Just really good all around football. If I was going to nitpick a little bit more turnovers. That was the one thing. We tied 0-0. We had a couple opportunities, but we won the explosive play battle. We won the third down battle. We won the sack battle. We won the starting field position battle. We won the penalty battle. And then we won the middle 8 with 14 points to 0. So a lot of good things there. Third down, we were 81%. They were 48%. That was a powerful stat in the game. No, I'm sorry. That's wrong. I'm sorry. Third down was 64% and 35%. Excuse me, I apologize. And then fourth down, we were 100% there. So a lot of good things to build on. This will be important tape for us to evaluate, especially with the young guys. I think I told you guys in the beginning of the week that we needed to find a way to win this game and get better. I thought we did that tonight. We want to continue on that trajectory this week. So appreciate you guys being here and open up the questions. Can I have a bottle of water, please?
Yes, that's fine for you. Flounders and then Johnny.
Hey, James.
Hey.
Your offense obviously racked up a lot of yards and a lot of points. Abdul was Abdul again, but Denai looked like he was much closer to how he had been when he was completely healthy. Just the significance and importance of those two being healthy as you guys get ready for some bigger games and kind of what that impact could have moving forward.
Yeah, really important. Thank you. Really important having Denai back. This is the first game. He's played the last 2, but as you guys know, in a very limited role. So the fact that we were able to win those games, manage him, and then get him back close to 100% this week was really important. Abdul's a very disruptive player. I also think, when it's just Abdul on the field and not Denai, although I think Amin and Smith are doing really good things too, and it was great to see Harvey today. It's different when we got all 4 of those guys rotating in. I also think, I'm surprised that Abdul does not get more holding calls. I think it's pretty obvious that he's an issue coming off the edge. And he could get probably 3 or 4 more sacks or 3 or 4 more holds per game. But yeah, I think having Denai back is really important, and I think with him being close to 100 this week, I think he'll be in really good shape going into the next week and moving forward.
Johnny and then Rich.
James, you're right. Do you think Tyler Warren deserves to be in the Heisman conversation?
I've stated it earlier in the year. I stated it tonight. I think Tyler Warren should be a part of all the conversations that deal with the best football player in college football. I don't think it's a question. And that's all those types of awards, including the Heisman. Yes, sir.
Rich and then Mark.
James, you're right. Can you comment
Is that
on...
beard? Is that a new thing for you?
Where have you been?
It's not new?
About 2.5 weeks.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You don't normally rock a beard, do you?
Yeah, you're very observant. You noticed my kitchen, but you didn't notice...
It's a good look.
He started growing in his
Beard's a
kitchen.
good look.
Yeah.
Does your wife like it?
No.
Shave it then.
40 years She'll get over it.
Whoa. Everybody edit their video.
The way Drew is playing now, 10 games into his second season as a starter, is he ahead of where you thought, about where you thought, and how do you think he played today?
Yeah, I don't think he gets talked about enough. He's the same guy. That's one of the things I love about him is his process doesn't change. He works as hard as any quarterback I've been around. He's a morning guy, so he's in there all the time early in the morning. The consistency that he's played with over the last 2 years is impressive. At that position, I get it. At Penn State, that position, it's really high standards and expectations, and he tends to probably hear the criticism. I'm not saying him, but I'm just saying the position. Probably hears the criticism more than the praise. I think there are a lot of programs across the country that would love to have Drew, playing quarterback for them. 17 and 19, so efficient, and to me, it's not just the 3 touchdowns and no interceptions. It's also there's not a lot of plays you can find on tape where you question his decision making or his accuracy. Some guys come up with no interceptions, but there's 2 or 3 throws that he was fortunate. They were fortunate not to get them. You don't see that in his play. I think his ability, I've talked about this a bunch this year, his ability to extend plays this year compared to last year, break tackles, I think it's been meaningful for him and for us. But I think he's playing really good football. I don't know, you guys would know this better than me, but in a 2-year span, I bet you his numbers are as good as probably anybody in our history. So, obviously a place with a ton of history and a ton of tradition at that position. So a lot for him to be proud of. I know he'll be back in the facility early tomorrow morning and back to work at it. So I feel comfortable saying these things because I know it won't affect him. He is extremely hungry and he's extremely driven, and he wants to win for Penn State. He wants to win for the guys in the locker room. And the fans and the lettermen, and obviously he wants to do it for his family and for himself, but I think those things, especially for himself, come way down the list for him. He wants to be successful for everybody else and works really hard at it. It has a very humble and hungry approach to it.
Brendan and Sauber.
James, you've had guys play a ton of snaps this late in the season. To be able to get some guys off the field when you have back-to-back road games against a team with a bye, how important was that to get them off their feet?
Yeah, really, really important. And you look at our conference, from top to bottom. I know all coaches kind of get up and talk about their conference and they're biased, but I think the metrics and the data speak about it. And you look at our conference, the Big Ten and the SEC. I don't think it's even close. And you better be ready week in and week out. I don't think the staff and the players get enough credit for how hard that is. And when I talk about the staff, I'm talking about the assistants and the coordinators. How hard it is to week in and week out have your team ready to play, and the players are really doing a great job with that, and so are the assistant coaches. You see some of these schools that maybe have, 1 or 2 big games a year that they got to get up for. That's different. So, I'm proud of our guys and how they're doing it week in and week out. And again, we want to get better, and I thought we did that tonight.
Last 2, Sauber and Andrew.
James, Luke Reynolds obviously scores the touchdown tonight. Has been playing a lot this year, even if he isn't necessarily producing from a receptions and yardage standpoint. What can something like that do for him when it comes to confidence moving forward?
Yeah, I think he's got a really, really bright future. And, we think he's playing really well. I mean, it's a lot of guys like that. The ball hasn't come his way a whole lot. And with what Tyler's doing, I don't know if it will. So, when he gets an opportunity like that, or, some of the receivers, it's really cool to see him capitalize on it. And I think he's got a very, very bright future. And I think this is going to be extremely valuable this year, getting the reps that he's getting. also watching how Tyler Warren goes about his business. Tyler Warren's putting a clinic on and he's leaving a legacy here. We talk about that with our older players, about leaving a legacy with the younger players. I'm not talking about statistics. I'm talking about, how you work every single day at practice, how you are in meetings. One of the things that I'm so proud of Tyler, he's a model when it comes to the media, in my opinion. Maybe not your guys' opinion, but in my opinion, in terms of every question he gets, he's redirecting the questions back to his teammates whenever possible. So, I can't express to how important that is for his development, and what that's going to mean for him in his future. But he may not appreciate it right now. He'll appreciate it, I think, in the future, when Tyler's gone.
Andrew, last question.
Coach, back here. Half of Tyler's production comes in less traditional ways. When you were installing those kind of plays and that kind of system this offseason, did you envision the kind of success you're getting out of these kind of plays?
Yeah, we've used him in his way in the past. It's not like this is the first time we've done it. And I think I've talked to you guys about what makes him probably more unique than most is he checks a ton of boxes. So what I mean by that is you may want to use a guy like this, but they don't have the football IQ to handle lining up in all the different positions, the motioning, the shifting, being able to block. Like, God forbid a tight end in today's college football and sometimes the NFL block. Like, he does that too and takes great pride in it. I've said this before, but like, even just being able to use a cadence. A lot of times you put a guy back there and you're trying to use a cadence and they're not comfortable doing it and it messes it up with the center and the rhythm's not right. Running the quarterback sneak under center. Like, sometimes in today's college football, so there's some quarterbacks that haven't taken a snap under center, let alone a tight end. So I think all of these things that he can do makes it valuable. And a lot of times when you use a guy like that, they can't throw. But the fact that he can throw keeps the defense honest, because if it's just you put you back there and it's Wildcat quarterback and they got every single person in the box, then that's a totally different animal, and it's much less challenging to defend. So all these little things that you can do with them, it is a headache. It is a headache. And that's where putting all this stuff on film is really valuable. And I also think, as you guys know, I'm a big proponent is when we get our other guys in the game, that they deserve a chance to play and play like traditional football. So I thought that was really valuable late in the game as well. But did I anticipate or did I predict us using them in this way? Yes. This level of success? No, I don't know if I would necessarily say that. I thought he'd have a good year. I think he's having one of the more special years that I can remember in my 30 years, specifically at that position. And again, I think he's gotten to the point where this conversation exceeds just the position.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
We're going to be doing players out on the field.
Nice.
You want to take it back?